Faithful, it's about that time. 5 o'clock. Faithful, Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. What's good, y'all? It's a pleasure to be in front of the best fan base in the NFL. Them red and gold. Them Niners, baby. I know some of y'all probably getting off work. You had a long day. Well, come hang out with Jay in the Bay. Have some fun. Talk about the Niners. I want to see y'all hitting up them comments. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe to your boy, Jay in the Bay, on YouTube. You can follow me on IG and Twitter. But man, y'all saw the thumbnail. We got to talk about that good old Mike McGlinchey. But first, let's get into the comments. Say what's up to the people. Let's see. Damian Lee, what's good, man? Thanks for coming through. Looks like he says, I hope so. I would trade him in a heartbeat. Yeah. I mean, McGlinchey, he definitely had a down year this past season, but if you look at his first 2 seasons, he was playing pretty well. He just had, last year was just his down year. Let's see. Noah, thanks for coming through, Noah. What's good? So it looks like Noah says, another guy we wasted a first rounder on. I wouldn't say he was a waste just yet. I mean, if you compare Mike McGlinchey with Solomon Thomas, Solomon Thomas, you could say, was definitely overdrafted. He shouldn't have been a top 3 pick in the draft. He was. I don't think he should have been, first round pick. So I would definitely say that Solomon Thomas is a waste for sure. But, McGlinchey, he had an off year last year. So Niners all day. What's good? Thanks for coming through, Niners all day. Looks like payout time. We got us an LA Rams fan up in here. Let's see. Rams fan checking in on the Niners chatter. I'm hoping they don't take Fields with that pick. Yeah, I bet you are hoping that payout time. But thanks for coming through, man. I appreciate you coming through. I welcome all fans. It doesn't matter if you're just in the NFC West. If you like the NFL, you can definitely watch my show, laugh a little bit, learn something. So that's what I strive for. But thanks for coming through, Payo Time. Niners all day. I'm doing good, man. It's a Monday. 2 more days before I go back to work. So I'm doing good, man. I'm just, looking forward to the Niners, with the pro day. With Lance and Fields, and I'm also looking forward, of course, to the draft. I think we're less than about 17 days away from the draft, and I can't wait for it. Golden Grizz YouTube Productions. What's good? Thanks for coming through, man. It's like Payo Time said, what is the point of having Rosen on the Niners? Give that man a chance with the Bears. Yeah, Rosen, he hasn't really performed much wherever he's been, with the Cardinals. They traded him after only having him for a year. He couldn't get the starting job in Miami over Ryan Fitzmagic. So I think Rosen, he could develop into, a backup quarterback. But he'll be fighting for the backup quarterback job slash third position, I would say, because, you got Jimmy. You got the rookie quarterback, whoever we draft. Hopefully it's Justin Fields or Trey Lance. I ain't going to lie. If it's Fields or Lance, I don't care. As long as I just want to see who is Shanahan's guy. That's what I want to see. But yeah, Rosen will be fighting for that third position, probably with Josh Johnson and Nate Sudfeld. So, we'll see what happens with Rosen. JH Sports, what's good? Thanks for coming through, man. Not much, man. I'm happy to be talking some red and gold with you guys. Redder, what's good? Thanks for coming through, Redder, man. It's like Redder says, where did Solomon Thomas go? So he signed with the Las Vegas Sin City Raiders. So we'll see where Solomon Thomas goes. I know he dealt with, a tragedy in his family. I believe it was the first year of his career, or maybe the second year where his sister passed. So, I definitely hope the best for Solomon Thomas. I hope he's successful with the Raiders. But yeah, unfortunately, it just didn't work out with the red and gold. And looks like Niners All Day says he's excited for Fields Pro Day and that Kyle can get to talk to him a lot and get to know him more. Yeah, I feel like Kyle I feel like he knows Fields because Fields was in Kyle's quarterback camp. So I feel like he does have a good feel for him. But yeah, this is another wrinkle to the the decision process. You guys, Shanahan can now tell them, okay, I want you to run this certain play. I want you to make this certain reads. And I think it's good for the 49ers in a observation process to see what Fields and Lance do differently. What do they do well? So I'm excited. Looks like Redder says Fields is a beast, probably a future Niner. That's what we were hoping for. That's for sure. That's definitely what we're hoping for. But let's talk about the good old big man on the right side of that offensive line, Mike McGlinchey. Mike McGlinchey was drafted out of Notre Dame in the 2018 draft. And do you guys remember who the right tackle was before we drafted McGlinchey in 2018? So in 2017, it was Trent Brown. We drafted Trent Brown a few years prior. And, Trent Brown only played about 10 games that year with the Niners in 2017. And the 49ers needed to have stability at that right tackle position. And Trent Brown, we did not re-sign him because that last year, I think he only played 10 games. So we wanted someone that was reliable. And I feel like we got that in McGlinchey, McGlinchey was a draft pick out of Notre Dame, first round pick, 9th overall. First 2 years, he was playing exceptionally well, pass blocking, run blocking. He had Joe Staley as his mentor on that left side. And, McGlinchey was playing really well. He did get injured in, I believe, the Super Bowl run season. He missed 4 games. But other than that, he's played about 44 games out of 48. So, McGlinchey has been, a reliable, stout offensive lineman. Now, he is up for a 5th-year option in his contract. So for those that don't know, all first-round picks, I don't remember when this exactly started. It was a few years ago. But basically, if you're a first-round pick, you get signed to a team. Essentially, you have a 5-year contract. The first 4 years are essentially guaranteed a portion of that. And the 5th year is basically a team option. So the 49ers and every other NFL team have an option for Mike McGlinchey. So the 5th-year option states we have until May 3rd to decide whether to exercise that 5th-year option for Mike McGlinchey, and he'll get paid about $10 million per year. And obviously that salary is guaranteed for the next season. Or if we decline that 5th-year option, McGlinchey essentially plays out this year and he becomes a free agent. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, do you guys think we should not resign, but exercise that 5th-year team option for McGlinchey? It's $10 million. I mean, it's not a ton of money. It's not $20 million per year. McGlinchey has been solid last year. Hopefully it's a blip, not a trend. He didn't perform well last year, especially in pass blocking, but he's an exceptional run blocker. That's for sure. Let's look at the pros for McGlinchey. Now, in the 2020 season, he played about 1,091 offensive snaps. He only had 5 penalties called on him, and he also only allowed 5 sacks. Now, I know you guys are probably saying, well, he did allow a lot of pressures, and that is definitely something that McGlinchey has to work on, because sometimes pressures are almost as damaging as sacks, because if the defensive end or defensive tackle is able to pressure the quarterback, it gets the quarterback out that spot, and the quarterback isn't as comfortable in the pocket. So, but I mean, he did do well run blocking, but he's definitely got to get better in pass blocking. That's for sure. Now, some would say, well, why was he not good in pass blocking? Well, for some reason, I don't know if the team told him this or McGlinchey decided to do this on his own, but he lost some weight. I'm not sure why he decided to do that. He lost weight. And if you look at some of the clips from this past season, he was just getting blown up on that offensive line. Like defensive ends were just pushing him, and McGlinchey would fall over. And we didn't really see that in the first 2 years. So hopefully, he can put on a little bit more weight in the offseason, have a more normal offseason this year. We'll see what happens with the COVID and stuff like that. But, hopefully McGlinchey can bounce back and have a better season next year. But Payo Time says, What will you feel if they take Mac Jones? I think I'd be disappointed if we take Mac Jones with the number 3 spot after trading up. We basically swapped first round picks with Miami this year. We also owe Miami a 2022 first round pick, 2023 first round pick, and also I believe it's a 2022 third round pick. So that's a lot of compensation to give up for a quarterback who was not even projected to be a top 10 quarterback, I should say a top 10 draft selection as a quarterback in this year's draft. So I would be disappointed because I don't feel the value is there. I feel like we would give too much to try to get Mac Jones when we could have stood pat at 12 and selected Mac Jones, so I would be definitely disappointed, Pale Time, but good question. Niners All Day says, I was watching John Jay's newest video, and I saw in the article that Kyle will throw in some plays from the playbook for Fields to do at his pro day. Can't wait to see him execute that. Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that aspect of the pro day because normally pro days are ran by, passing coordinators. It could be someone from college or it could be someone else affiliated with, the quarterback that day. So, yeah, this usually teams hold private workouts, but they can't hold private workouts due to COVID this season. But I'm intrigued by Shanahan, giving the quarterbacks, his thoughts, his vision of how a play should be run, what reads the quarterback should make. And I'm interested to see how the quarterbacks throw certain routes. And so I can't wait for that aspect. Niners All Day. Redder says, I think people sleeping on him, Payo Time. Yeah, I mean, he had an excellent college career. I don't think there's really a knock on him. I just feel like there's better quarterbacks than Mac Jones. I just feel like let's say if the top 2 quarterbacks, let's say if Fields, Lance, and Zach Wilson weren't in this year's draft, let's say they waited till next year. If it was just Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones, they would probably be 1 and 2 option. I think that's true. But since there are other intriguing players who I feel like can bring more to the table, I think that they're just a step above Mac Jones. There's no disrespect to Mac Jones. I just feel like there are players who are, better. So let's see. Niners All Day says, at Pale Time, I will feel disappointment. Same here, man. We'll definitely be disappointed if we take Mac Jones. But I would be interested because this is Shanahan's guy. And I don't know about you guys. I still believe in Kyle Shanahan. He's an offensive genius, one of the better play callers, play creators in the NFL. So if he feels Mac Jones is the best player for his system, I mean, we got to roll with that. And I would respect Shanahan for that. But I just feel like, why did he feel he needed to move all the way up into the top 3 to get Mac Jones? That's what I would say. Kind of like what the Bears did, 3 years ago, 2017, when they traded up with the Niners to get Mitchell Trubisky. Like, why did they have to do that? They could have stood pat and not drafted Trubisky. So, Payo Time. Let's see. Redder says, I think he has the IQ to succeed in the NFL, just needs some time to learn how to be a pro. Yeah, just like with every college quarterback coming out, every college player coming out into the NFL draft, there's always a transition. Usually the biggest transition is the speed of the game. In college, all these first round picks in college were always the fastest, the strongest. They were the best at their position. NFL, everyone's fast, everyone's strong, and it really comes down to the smaller details, and that's why players succeed in the NFL. It's all about preparation, discipline, and putting the work in. And if all these players do that, they'll all be successful. So, 49ers Ultimate Report, John J. What's good? Thanks for coming through to the stream, man. Let's see. That's like Redder says. I remember when I used to think the Niners would trade for Deshaun. That was a month ago, though. Yeah, I mean, I was one of the people that are saying, hey, Lynch, you should make the call and try to trade for Deshaun. And it didn't matter what the compensation was, as long as it was draft picks, but not players. But, Deshaun, I'll be surprised if Deshaun plays this year due to, the allegations that are going on. And hopefully the truth comes out with that. But I think it's funny you mentioned that, Redder, because I feel like the Deshaun, allegations came out. I think that accelerated, Lynch and Shanahan's desire to get a quarterback. So that's why I feel like we traded up into the top 3 because, well, we pretty much knew Deshaun Watson would be hands off. There's no way he's going to get traded at this point, not until everything clears up. So that definitely helped the Niners execute that trade to get into the top 3 because of, Deshaun Watson allegations. And Payo Time says, whoever the Niners take, and Darnold will be happy to greet him to the NFL. It's funny you mentioned that, Payo Time, because the Niners got the Rams number the last 2 years. We beat y'all the last 4 times we've met. And Aaron Donald, he didn't have much of a game. Daniel Brunskill took his lunch, baby. So, all respect to Aaron Donald. He's a beast. But, Daniel Brunskill, he did pretty good against Donald. I know you can't hold down a great player like Aaron Donald, a generational talent for the whole game. But, Brunskill definitely, he held his own. So, let's see. Payout time. Redder for props for the best. Redder says, I think Steelers should have signed Solomon Thomas because ours is old. Sorry for being on. No, it's all good. Yeah, Solomon Thomas, we'll see what he does. He's too small to really be a defensive tackle. And then he's not big enough, and he doesn't have the speed to be on the edge. So, we'll see what Solomon Thomas does with the good old Las Vegas Raiders. Let's see. Hood Scratcher Lady, what's good? Thanks for coming through. Enjoy your channel. And 49's Ultimate Report says, it's so funny that media is flip-flopping from Mac Jones. It's the pick at 3-2. It could be Fields or Lance. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Mac Jones is talented, but there's just other quarterbacks that are, more talented than him. And I think that's why, Lance and Fields, in my opinion, are, above Mac Jones. But speaking of a quarterback is nothing. Nothing without an offensive line. And McGlinchey, he lost weight last year in the offseason. I'm not sure if the team told him to do that or if he decided to do that on his own. But McGlinchey had a down year pass blocking. And, this is Mike McGlinchey's NFL future. If he balls out, has a great season, most likely, I don't think the Niners should sign him to a contract extension. I don't know what you guys think, but we already, broke the bank for Trent Williams, the big silverback. And I don't think we should pay another right tackle, top 10 money at his position because we already broke the bank for Trent. So this could be a good reason to trade him. But McGlinchey, he is 6'8", 291 pounds. And offensive line is all about leverage. It's all about getting low. And he's got to get his pad levels really low to the ground in order to fend off those defensive ends because he was getting blown up last year in the passing coverage. But running game, obviously, he's elite, but he's got to get much better in pass blocking situations. So, now, if we do decide to trade McGlinchey, there are a few teams that could need a offensive tackle. I looked this up today. The Chicago Bears could use a tackle. The Kansas City Chiefs, we all know the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line was putrid in that Super Bowl. They cut their starting left tackle and right tackle in Fisher and Schwartz. And also the LA Chargers could use a tackle, the Indianapolis Colts, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So there could be other teams that would be interested in Mike McGlinchey, and I'm interested to see what type of compensation the Niners would want for McGlinchey. Maybe a first, maybe a second, and then we could always draft McGlinchey's replacement. Looks like Niners All Day says a couple months ago they had Mac Jones in the late to first early rounds, and all of a sudden he's the projected third overall pick. Yeah, the media does that, if a player has a great pro day or something like that, the media can hype a player up. And that seems like that's what happened with Mac Jones. Redder says, even if Mac does go to the 49ers, he's in a great situation with a great team and sit behind Jimmy G for a year. Yeah, I agree, Redder. I think any rookie quarterback that comes in, I don't think they'll start. I highly doubt that we trade Jimmy G. That's my quarterback. I'd be surprised if we trade Jimmy G. And I think any rookie quarterback, as you said, Redder, would be in a great spot. You're under the tutelage of Kyle Shanahan. You can sit behind Jimmy G for a year. This team is ready to win now with the weapons we have on both sides of the ball. So, yeah, I'm intrigued by the draft. I can't wait. He says Steelers could use Mike. Yeah, at the offensive tackle position. So, And I think, and the reason why I say this, I'm not down on McGlinchey. I know he had two pretty good seasons the first 2 years of his career. Last year, was a down year, but I don't think McGlinchey will be signed with us on a long-term extension because we already spent money on Trent Williams. So it's like you get something for McGlinchey now by a trade, or you would let him walk in free agency. I don't know about you guys, but I would rather, get McGlinchey and get something for him. So we could trade McGlinchey, even if it's for a second, maybe a first round pick, and then we can use that pick to draft his replacement. And speaking of his replacements, there are several players, in the draft coming out. The offensive line is deep this year in the draft. There's a few names: Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State, Samuel Cosme out of Texas, Alex Leatherwood out of Bama. Now he could go in the first round, I hear, so he may not be available. Jackson Carmen out of Clemson and Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC. He also could be a first round pick, but there is a lot of depth at that right tackle spot as far as college players in the draft that are coming out. So the Niners would have a plethora of options if they decided to move on from McGlinchey. And looks like Redder says we have mad OTs. Okay. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see what the Niners do, with the draft. I'm interested to see if we re-sign Mike McGlinchey because he is due. We have to decide by May 3rd if we want to extend that fifth-year option to him, or if we don't, we can let it play out and go from there. So we'll see what happens with McGlinchey going forward. But he's got to have a bounce back season, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why he lost weight. I don't know what was up with that. I don't know if the team told him to do that or he took it upon himself to do that. But he's definitely got to have a better season coming up. And as I mentioned before, I don't know if you guys saw my video, but I posted a video on my YouTube earlier today talking about, the second pro days for Fields and Lance. And, that should be very interesting to see Shanahan, see Shanahan have the quarterbacks up close and personal, showing them plays that the 49ers use. You're going to have, Lynch is going to be there. Scangrello, the quarterback coach, is going to be there. John Lynch will be there. Thanks for coming through, Reddit, man. I appreciate you, man. No worries. Thanks for coming through. So I can't wait for, day two, the second pro day. And Shanahan's going to be able to put his hands on the quarterbacks, see how they read the field. I know there won't be any defense or anything like that, but still see how they read the field, see their backpedal up close and personal, see how they deliver the ball, who does what better. And, I can't wait for that to come through. So, and just to be clear, I still think that, whether we get Fields or Lance, I'll be satisfied with that. Obviously, Fields has played at Ohio State. He's played at he's played on the bigger stage compared to compared to Lance, excuse me. And he's really performed at Ohio State very well. And he's performed obviously at the bigger stage. So that's why I feel like Fields has a slight advantage over Lance. But I'm intrigued. I just want to know, who is Shanahan's guy? Because this is the first time that Shanahan has been able to pick a quarterback in the first round of the draft. We picked C.J. Beathard in the third round, but, obviously that didn't work out. So I'm curious to see who is Shanahan's guy. We all know he has this infatuation with Kirk Cousins. And, I don't know. Does he value a mobile quarterback? I mean, he had RG3 in Washington when he was offensive coordinator, but we'll see what Shanahan values. I think he values someone who could, walk up to the line of scrimmage, spot out the middle linebacker, see the defense, know what type of coverage, and I think that's what he values over mobility necessarily. Looks like 49ers Ultimate Report. What's good, John J? He said 2 O-line players, the 49ers can get a steal in the third round. Ben Cleveland, Georgia, Spencer Brown, offensive tackle out of Northern Iowa. And okay, Yeah, no, those are all good options. And speaking of the draft, after we, after we pick the third overall pick, most likely be a quarterback. Who else will we draft? What are our other needs in the NFL draft? And the second round pick, I would say we definitely need to upgrade the corner. We got to get younger at the corner spot. I know we re-signed Verrett and Mosley, but they haven't been the most reliable, especially Verrett injury wise. So that'll be interesting to see who the Niners get with the second round pick. I think we should definitely get a corner. We definitely need to get an interior offensive lineman. I know we have Alex Mack, the center, but he's 35, 36. He's definitely on the back nine of his career. And I'm intrigued to see who the Niners can get to possibly back him up. And also for Daniel Brunskill at that right guard spot. We do need another person to back up Brunskill. So I can't wait for the draft. 49ers Ultimate Report, thanks for coming through, man. I appreciate your comments because we definitely need to get more depth at that offensive line position. And I can't wait. Looks like Niners All Day says I draft a interior offensive lineman or a corner in the second if we are drafting. And it looks like he says it's Wyatt Davis for me. He's super strong, played with Fields, and has great upfield blocking. If we take a corner for me, it's Elijah Molden or Asante. Yeah, I've heard a lot about Asante Samuel. Got a great pedigree. His dad played the cornerback spot at a high level. I remember his dad playing with the Patriots and the Eagles. And yeah, I think interior offensive lineman and corner are probably what we're going to take in the second round. I thought of something real crazy. Now tell me if I'm crazy, Faithful. So I was thinking, what if we traded back into the first round and we picked up, Najee Harris, the running back from Alabama. Obviously, I know we got Mostert, one of the fastest players in the NFL, and we got Jeff Wilson Jr., but you can never really have too many running backs. Now, what's intriguing to me is how much compensation would a team require for us to go back into the first round and trade picks with them. But that's like a dream of mine to get another running back because that's what this team is great at. This team is great at run blocking. Kittle is one of the best, run blocking tight ends in the NFL. And I know running back is already a strength. So if we got another running back that high, we would be increasing that strength. And I understand that. But just interesting for me to think, oh, what if we traded back into the first round? Cleveland Scott, what's good? Thanks for coming through, Cleveland. Mac Jones is pro ready. Take the legs from Lance and Fields. They won't me it far. They are more like running backs. People want flash. We need a franchise quarterback. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't know if we really don't know if these guys are pro ready. Mac Jones, of course, looked good in college. Fields looked good in college. We'll see what happens. But either one of these quarterbacks, if they come into the 49ers situation, it will be the best situation they could possibly get into. And the reason I say that is because with the skill guys on both sides of the ball, you'll be learning under the tutelage of Kyle Shanahan. I mean, what would you rather want? If I was a quarterback, I wouldn't want to go to Jacksonville, rebuilding franchise with the college head coach, Urban Meyer. Now, granted, he was great in college, but now he's coming down to the pros. It's a different game. I won't be surprised if he's successful, but I wouldn't want to go to a rebuilding franchise like the Jags. Then you got the Jets. They've been abysmal over the last decade. Ever since Rex Ryan left, they haven't really had any amount of success. I remember Todd Bowles. I think he had one winning season there as head coach with the Jets, I think. But since then, they haven't had much success, so I wouldn't want to go to the Jets. And then with the Niners, it's rare that a team like the Niners were just in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And it's crazy that we have a top 3 pick now because of a bad year due to injuries last year. So this is a great situation for any one of these rookie quarterbacks to come in. Looks like Niners All Day says Fields is a great passer at Cleveland Scott, arguably better accuracy than Mac. Yeah. I mean, I would agree. I mean, they both, I believe Mac had an excellent completion percentage in Alabama. I think it was above 70, like maybe like 72, 73. So he definitely completed a lot of his passes. Granted, he was playing in front of the best offensive line in college, the best receivers, the best running back, the best coach. Like everything was set up for success for Mac. It's unfortunate that that's used against him, which it shouldn't be used against him. But in the NFL, there's an Alabama at every NFL team. So, we'll see. I can't wait to see how this all plays out. It's like LF, thanks for coming through to the stream. It's the first time I've seen you. Welcome to Jay in the Bay. Looks like LF says we get Najee Harris. That'd be sick. He from the Bay too. Yeah, I mean that would be incredible if we got Najee Harris in that red and gold, and then we would have Mostert, Wilson, and Najee running the rock because at least when Jimmy was the quarterback, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to run the ball, 25 to 30 times a game and have Jimmy throw about 22 times a game. And Jimmy is great at the play action. If it makes the defense hesitate for just a second, and then Jimmy could pull that ball back in, make his read and deliver the ball. And the play action game is great for Jimmy. He does that exceptionally well. So I think why not continue to make our running back room a strength? And it also helps it. We win the time of possession, and that's what football is all about. It's all about the trenches and the time of possession. Whoever dominates the trenches, commits the least amount of turnovers, and wins time of possession usually wins the game. And usually you don't win the time of possession in a game by throwing 50 times a game, So that could be an option for the Niners. That would be crazy if we did that. And Lynch has done that before. Lynch has traded back up into the first round before. Let's see, he did it 2017. We drafted Solomon Thomas and then traded back up to get Reuben Foster. And then we did it. I think we did it last year with the Ayuk show. I think we traded back up to get Ayuk, and then obviously we got Kinlaw a few selections before. So Shanahan has shown that he can trade back up into that first round. So we'll see what happens. Niners all day. If we did trade back up to get Najee or Travis, what would we give up? I know, right? That's a great question. I mean, I don't think we would give up necessarily any first round picks, next year to move up. I don't think because we were already traded our first round pick next year. So maybe a few day 3 picks or day 2 picks, maybe, second or third. The only thing is if we do that, then I think there's still plenty of options for the interior offensive line on, late day 2, late day 3. I think we can still get a solid interior offensive lineman. Now, obviously, the corners, you probably want to pick one within the first 2 or 3 rounds. So that would be the downside to giving up a second or third round pick in this year's draft because then that could be a corner. And we all know, we all know that we need to get younger at that good old corner spot. So looks like Niners all day says, yeah, I would not mind that at all. Yeah, it just depends on what compensation we would have to give up and, which team would be willing to trade down. So it's like LF says, Niners all day. Yes, sir. It's like Niners all day says, if you watch the tape on Mac, he mostly throws the screen passes and checkdowns. But then he does throw the deep ball. Yeah, I feel like what Mac does well, he definitely takes what the defense gives him. And that's kind of like what Jimmy G does. Jimmy G doesn't really stretch the ball down the field that often. I think it's partly because Jimmy G is uncertain of the offensive line. I think that's part of the reason why he didn't stretch the field. Ever since he had that torn ACL, he hasn't been as mobile in the pocket. Jimmy G is tough, though. He'll definitely step up into the pocket. He'll take hits. He can deliver the ball, but he's not going to throw it. He's not going to chuck it 50, 60 yards deep. I just don't think he's going to do that. Now, John Lynch, Parag Marate did an excellent job with the salary cap this offseason, and they solidified the offensive line by re-signing Trent, bringing in Alex Mack. So hopefully that'll help Jimmy G's confidence in the offensive line. And yeah, Mac took what the defense gave him. And I feel like it's funny because I feel like Mac and Jimmy G are more similar quarterbacks than Trey Lance, Justin Fields compared to Jimmy G. I feel like there's just a higher ceiling for Lance and Fields compared to Mac Jones. And honestly, I think they're just be more exciting. Like I think that's part of the reason I don't want Mac Jones is it'll be cool to see a mobile quarterback. Feel like he can maybe open the playbook. That's what they all say. The people I've heard have said, "Oh, well, the playbook is minimized because Shanahan isn't confident in Jimmy G." So I'm eager to see who is Shanahan's guy. I want to see the playbook open up, and yeah, I can't wait. Looks like Niners All Day also says he did say in an interview that we talked to him the most, Najee to the best. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I think Najee is definitely a first round pick. So, I know the Steelers need a running back. They need a running back bad. I'm not sure where the Steelers are picking at. Maybe someone can tell me in the chat. But I know the Steelers definitely need a running back. And I know nowadays you usually don't pick a running back high. Like you usually don't pick a running back in the top 10 anymore just because we all know the running backs, they take a lot of punishment. Usually their careers don't last very long. So yeah, but I know the Steelers are definitely interested in running back. I'm sure there are other teams that may look at the running back position because Najee Harris seems to be the best running back in this year's class. Also, Travis Etienne out of Clemson. So we'll see what happens. Payo time. Any updates on Bosa coming back from injury? Well, I've seen a few videos of Bosa working out. He's pulling the sled. He's doing various exercises. He looks pretty good. Yeah, I hope he's ready for training camp. I mean, he tore his ACL in September. Usually it takes about 12, maybe 9 to 12 months to come back from an ACL injury or ACL tear. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully he comes back. I would hope that we, take it easy with him in training camp. I honestly wouldn't even want him to play preseason. If I had my druthers, I wouldn't want him to play preseason at all. And if he did play preseason, maybe just, one or two series, that's it. And when the season starts, slowly bring him along. He shouldn't be playing 100% of the snaps coming off of a torn ACL at that type of position, the defensive end. And I think that could open up opportunities for other players. And I still haven't heard what is up with Ronald Blair. I mean, I heard on Friday and Saturday that there's a chance, he was interested in re-signing with the Niners. The Niners were interested in re-signing him as well, but it was based on a physical. I don't know if he got that physical yet. I don't know the results, but Ronald Blair could benefit from a lighter workload for Bosa when he comes back for game one. Ronald Blair, Samson Bucum. The your guy, Payo Time, Samson Bucum, the guy we got from the LA Rams. He's going to be playing defensive end, so he could be, he could benefit from Bosa playing limited snaps. Eric Armstead, where you at, baby? Come on, Eric Armstead. I need you to get more sacks. But yeah, I think, Bosa definitely will start. But I think hopefully they take it easy with him. Hopefully he doesn't play a whole bunch of snaps coming off that torn ACL. Let's see, Niners all day. So he says maybe 43, 102, and a future seventh, or is that too much to trade up for a running back? Yeah, it might be too much to trade up for a running back, but that's probably the compensation that a team trading out of the first round would want. They want a few picks to trade out of the first round. But I mean, Najee Harris, he looked, pretty damn good in Alabama. I bet the knock on Alabama running backs is they haven't played well in the NFL. You had Mark Ingram, you had Derrick Henry. I think those two are the exception, Mark Ingram and Derrick Henry. But then you also had Trent Richardson, who was a bust. So, but we'll see. We'll see. LF says, I think that's too rich for a running back. It could be. It's just a dream of mine. It's just a dream of mine. It could be too much, because we definitely do have other needs that we need to address on the team. Niners all day says, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm just assuming. Let's see. LF says, I wouldn't be mad if it happened for Najee Harris, though. Just hoping to get a corner or a right tackle with the 43rd. Yeah. Like, it would be a dream to get the best running back in the NFL when we already have a pretty stout running game. because we will be adding to our strength, But we definitely need to get a young corner because, Verrett, some would say that was a blip last year. Unfortunately, Verrett has had a trend of, injury-riddled seasons. And I believe last year was the first year he played like 15 or 16 games. It might have been the second year out of his 7-year career that he played that many games. So Mosley, he also got hurt, last year. And, there were stretches that Mosley didn't look as confident in his playing ability. So we definitely need to get a young corner to push Mosley and, play more snaps. And with the right tackle spot, with McGlinchey, we need to find eventually a replacement for Glinchey because I don't think he'll be with the team long term. I just don't think it makes sense to pay 2 tackles, top tier money. Because there's no way McGlinchey's going to say, "Oh, I'm going to take a home discount to stay with the Niners." I mean, I don't think his representation would want that. Would you guys take less money to stay with the Niners? I mean, I know he's still rich. He's still living in the Bay, and the Bay Area is one of the best places to live in the country. But especially when you're rich. But if there's an opportunity to get more money, I wouldn't be surprised if McGlinchey took it. So, 49ers ultimate report. Mac's tape is shotgun most of the time, 5-step drop, even 7-step down, and deep throws. Never sets his feet, rarely moves in the pocket. When he gets pressure, he throws away or check downs. Yeah. And in the NFL, that's kind of like what you have to do. You have to, when the pressure gets to you, you got to either, maneuver out the pocket, either left or right, and throw the ball away and live to fight another down. And that's smart. I think that's what he should do. Now with Fields and Lance, they may be able to maneuver out the pocket, create enough separation for a receiver to throw a receiver open or even run with the ball. So that's why Fields and Lance are a little bit more exciting than Mac Jones. Hell, they could all three have exceptional careers and win the same amount of games or similar amount of games, but I'm not gonna lie, Fields and Lance are just more exciting for me, So looks like Niners all day. I think Najee goes 18-25. Pittsburgh has a 24th pick. Yeah, no, that's probably where he'll be drafted because Pittsburgh, they need a running back. That's one of their biggest needs besides the offensive line, and maybe they'll go BPA, best player available in the draft, but they definitely need a running back. James Conner won't be back with the Steelers. He came on well when it was Conner and Le'Veon Bell, but Conner didn't play well last year. I'm not sure if it was because of the offensive line, but he didn't look like, I'm talking about James Conner, he didn't look like a starting running back. He just didn't. He had an off year. So Pittsburgh definitely could go offensive line. They could go Najee Harris, running back, or they could even go edge rusher. I know they didn't re-sign Bud Dupree. Bud Dupree was having an excellent year alongside T.J. Watt, and then he had that ACL tear. So they could go edge rusher. Let's see. Niners all day. I'd rather have Fields than Lance, but I'd be fine with Lance as long as it ain't Mac. I'm good. No, I feel you, man. I feel the same way. Just as long as it ain't Mac, because I feel like trading up into the top 3, that's overkill. You didn't have to do that to get Mac Jones. Whoo, Mac Jones, like you didn't have to do all that. I feel like we could have, if Shanahan really wanted Mac Jones, we could have stayed at 12. So I think if we trade up to the top 3, we get Mac, it would be an overreach, man. It would be like the Bears drafted Mitchell Trubisky, So Lance or Fields, either one. Make your choice, Shanahan. Either one, Lance or Fields. Nicho TV, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to your boy, Jay in the Bay. Just like Nicho says, I don't think Mac will be in a different jersey after the O-line signings. They will probably focus on other positions, in my opinion. Okay, hold on. Let's see. I don't think Mac will be. Okay, I see what you're saying. I think you're saying that we're going to keep Mike McGlinchey. Okay. I definitely think we could do that for sure. Now he is due. The Niners have to make a decision on his contract before the third, and what that entails is we sign him, or I should say, the team agrees to his 5th-year option, which would be $10 million next year. Which, that's not it's not chump change, but it ain't like he getting paid $20 million per year, so it's not terrible if we keep him for next year. It's just that I don't think he's going to be with the team long term. What you think, Nicho? You think McGlinchey going to be with the team long term? I don't think so. But that's why I say if he's not going to be with the team, explore other options. I mentioned earlier there are other teams that need offensive tackle help: the Steelers, the Bears, the Colts, the Chargers, the Jags. So even if it was maybe for a second or third, because we could draft his replacement in this year's draft. So, but we'll see what happens, Nicho. I appreciate you coming on, man. Niners all day. He says if we get Najee, we get a mini Derrick Henry. If we get Travis, which is falling, and we can potentially get him, it's like an Alvin Kamara. So either is fine. Yeah, if we could get, Travis maybe in the second round or something, that'd be cool. I'd rather have Najee myself, but I think we will get a running back. I think that's for sure. We definitely will get a running back in this year's draft. I feel like our needs. Let me know how you think, Faithful Niner Empire. I feel like our needs are corner, interior offensive lineman, right tackle. I think we do need to get someone behind McGlinchey. I think we got to get another edge rusher. And I would say wide receiver. I mean, I don't know how y'all feel, Faithful, but we definitely need to get another wide receiver. Whether I want to get a free agent, I want to get someone like T.Y. Hilton, Willie Snead, Keon Cole out of Jacksonville, someone like that, a veteran who's done it before that can help, that can increase the talent in that receiver room. I don't think Mohamed Sanu is going to get it done. I know he knows the system, but he didn't show that much last year in the red and gold, and the Niners, cut him. So there definitely are other needs in the draft. We have plenty of picks, so I'm curious to see how the Niners address the rest of those needs, and especially at edge rusher. We got to keep that a strength. And I wanted to get in. I think these players are still available. Justin Houston, edge rusher. He played all 2 seasons last year with Indy. He played every game. I think he had like 19 sacks. And Ryan Kerrigan, the Washington football team legend. Ryan Kerrigan was one of the best sack men easily of the last decade. He was easily one of the best on Washington the last decade. And look at his stats. He gets sacks continually, and he pressures the quarterback. He didn't play that much last year because they decided to go with Montez Sweat at the edge rushing position. But, those 2 guys are still out there. Everything NFL. Appreciate your kind words, man. Love your content. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming through to the stream. We got them good old R&B bros. What's good? He says, what do you think about the Niners drafting Clemson wide receiver Amari Rodgers? Now, I've heard good things about Clemson, I've heard good things about wide receiver Amari Rodgers from Clemson. He's got good film. He's got a nice highlight tape, and I think he would definitely be an asset to the 49ers. Now, will he be available in the second or third round? That's one question I have. If he is, then that definitely could be an option for the Niners, because we definitely got to get more dynamic at the wide receiver position. I mean, we got Debo, tuck your chain. We got the Ayuk show, Brandon Ayuk. We got Richie James, but he's been inconsistent. He's been up and down. Trent Taylor's no longer on the squad. Juwan Jennings, the wide receiver Lynch drafted in the 7th round. He had an injury last year, missed the whole season. Jalen Hurd, he's had back-to-back season-ending injuries, so we definitely got to get more depth at that wide receiver position. Nicho says the Wyatt's World video about Mac Jones was great because he was surrounded by a lot of talent and great staff. I don't think we should get Mac Jones. Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, all that talent, it doesn't do well for him in the draft. And I think it would do well if you take out Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, and Justin Fields. Let's say all those three quarterbacks will be heading into the draft next year, and you only had Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones. Yeah, I think those would be your 1-2 picks. But I feel like there's more talent, better talent, higher ceiling with Lance and Fields. And I don't think Mac Jones would be a top 3 pick with all the quarterbacks that are available right now in the draft. I just don't see it happening. We'll see what Shanahan thinks, though. We'll see what Shanahan thinks. He's the man in charge. The sports star, what's good? Thanks for coming through to the stream, man. Niners all day. Nicho TV, he says, I saw that. It was funny. Niners all day. He says, who's going to replace Bourne? I don't know. I mean, can we rely on Richie James? I don't know. Mohamed Sanu, what does he have left in the tank? Why was he cut last year? Jalen Hurd and Juwan Jennings, can we rely on those two? I don't think we can because they've had injuries. So I guess it would have to be a receiver we draft, in this year's draft. It would have to be a receiver to replace Bourne. Someone mentioned Amari Rodgers, a receiver from Clemson. We'll see if he's available on day 2 or day 3. But yeah, we have to get more depth at the wide receiver position. Let's see. Is it true? LF says, is it true we signed Tony Jefferson? Yeah, I'm not sure. I heard rumors about that the Niners were interested in Tony Jefferson, but he plays safety. And we already have plenty of safety. So I don't know if that's true. Because we already got Jaquiski Tart, Tavon Wilson, Marcel Harris, and Jimmy Ward. We got plenty of depth in the safety. I could see us I've heard us possibly drafting a safety, which wouldn't be a bad idea because Tart is on a 1-year deal, Wilson's on a 1-year deal, Marcel Harris, I believe, is on a 1-year deal. I think Jimmy Ward has about 2 years left on his contract, so drafting a safety might not be a bad idea. But I don't know where Jefferson would play unless he's just a special teams player. I'm not sure. Looks like 49ers Ultimate Report. LF, there are rumors that Jefferson is going to the Niners. Nothing has been reported. Yeah. I agree. Nothing's been reported yet on that. And I'm still waiting. Y'all know about Ronald Blair? I mean, what's going on? He was supposed to sign this weekend. I feel like he was a good situational pass rusher with us. He's solid. But, I wonder what's going on with that. And I think Lynch, he should definitely look at getting a veteran wide receiver. I know we got Mohamed Sanu, but come on, man. I mean, what are we going to expect from Mohamed Sanu? I mean, he had, great season or two with Shanahan with the good old ATL Falcons. He had a good few seasons there, but since then he hasn't really played well. And he had a cup of coffee with the Niners. He played 3 games. He was targeted 1 time, had 1 catch. So, I know he knows the system. He's one of Shanahan's guys, but I just wish we could have got like a T.Y. Hilton, Willie Snead, somebody like that, because this offense took off when Emmanuel Sanders was traded, to us from Denver. That's when, Jimmy G would be looking to the right and Jimmy G would be looking to the left. Jimmy G, he took off when Emmanuel Sanders was brought onto this team, So I feel like we need to make sure. So Lynch solidified the O-line, right? Re-signed Williams, re-signed Mack. Solidified the O-line, right? Now we got to make sure Jimmy has a plethora of weapons offensively, I think we got to give Jimmy the best chance to win. I'm not saying they're not doing that. I'm just saying there are options out there that, of course, I feel like we should make. But Lynch or Shanahan, they know what they're doing. But, I think we definitely need to get an established vet receiver, someone like Emmanuel Sanders. I think he signed with Buffalo, I think, in the offseason. But that would have been nice if we could have maybe not necessarily brought him back, but a receiver of his caliber we brought to the Niners. So, Brandon DeKing, what's good? Thanks for coming through to the stream, man. He says, I was thinking if the Niners were to get another first-round draft pick, would it be a good idea to pick up offensive tackle, Penei Sewell. Yeah, that would be an excellent idea, Brandon the King. That'd be an excellent idea, but Sewell, I hear he's a top 5 pick. I hear he might, get drafted by Cincinnati, or Cincinnati could take a receiver. I think it's Jamar Chase out of LSU. Cincinnati could take a receiver to pair him up with Joe Burrow. But Sewell, he's definitely a top 10. If he's not going to Cincinnati, another team will definitely pick up Sewell for sure. I think Detroit is in the top 10. They could pick up Sewell if he's there. So I don't see us getting. Yeah, I mean, the only way we could get Sewell is if we traded down, and I don't think we would do that after trading up to 3. So I don't see that happening. But interesting suggestion though. It's like Niners all day. Adam Schefter is backtracking and now saying that he would like to see Fields throw to Kittle. So I guess he changed his mind. I heard about that this morning. Yeah, like because Schefter was saying that it's pretty much a done deal. You can buy your Mac Jones 49er jersey because the Niners were selecting Mac Jones. I guess his source was incorrect because it's not a done deal yet. Shanahan has yet to tell anyone who is his guy. And that's why I'm so intrigued for draft night, baby. I can't wait till it comes through because we don't really have an idea. We don't have an idea who is Shanahan's guy. Captain Kirk, he speaks very highly of Captain Kirk. And it seems like Captain Kirk, closest person to this draft, is Mac Jones. So I don't know. We'll see. But hopefully when Goodell goes up to the board, he says the San Francisco 49ers select with the 3rd overall pick in the 2021 NFL draft. Hopefully he either says Justin or Trey. That's what I'm hoping for. It's like Niners All Day says that Brandon the King Penei is going top 8. I don't think we can get him. I mean, he's being talked about as a generational offensive tackle. And yeah, that would be great to get him. It would be great if we got Kyle Pitts. Now that would be amazing. You pair Kyle Pitts with the best tight end in the NFL, George Kittle. I mean, that would be amazing. But obviously, that would be too much to give up for, that'd be too much to give up. We trade that many picks to go up in the top 3. We got to select a quarterback. Even if Pitts is selected, he could be a generational talent at the tight end spot. 49ers ultimate report, Penei Sewell is going to be a great LT. Yeah, no, I agree. Whatever team he goes to, he's going to dominate. He's going to be, a rock at that left tackle spot for many years to come. And, hopefully he has a successful career, man. 49ers ultimate report, he says the expert on ESPN and NFL Network are just looking for views. Yeah, I mean, they got to fill the time. I mean, they have to kind of say what will get clicks. And, it could be his source was wrong, or he could maybe he just threw that out there. Like, hey, Shanahan loves Captain Kirk. Who is the closest or most similar player to Captain Kirk? I guess that would be Mac Jones. So maybe he just ran with that. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I can't wait for the draft. Only, I think we're less than 16 days away from the draft. I can't wait. I'll definitely be live streaming the day of the draft. I'll probably live stream maybe like an hour or 2 before. And maybe I'll do a mock draft too. I've seen a lot of people done mock drafts. You guys want to see a mock draft? Let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll do a mock draft. Maybe we'll do a few mock drafts. And I can't wait for the draft. The Niners have, I still feel like we have a lot of needs that need to be addressed in this year's draft. The corner, the interior offensive lineman, edge rusher, who else? Wide receiver. So the players were definitely out there, and I can't wait to see who Lynch decides to draft. And I can't wait to see. Looks like LF says, is it safe to say Rosen was a first round bust, or does he have a comeback in him? I guess you're saying. I mean, that's a great question. A lot of people say that Rosen wasn't given a fair shot in Arizona. I would probably agree with that, but I mean, what's fair is, it's the NFL. This is a professional league. I mean, fair. I mean, you know, players are treated equally, and fair. I don't know. One regime drafted him; they were tied to him. That regime was fired, and another head coach came in, Cliff Kingsbury, and said, Rosen, I don't know how good he is, but I see Kyler Murray coming out, and he was more interested in Kyler Murray, so that's why he, selected, Kyler Murray to be his quarterback, and Rosen was traded to Miami. Now, in Miami, he was competing with Ryan Fitzmagic, and we all know Fitzmagic. He's a vet. He's a wily vet. He's he's obviously been in this league for more than 15 years. He can sling it. So that's why I guess he couldn't win the position over him. And then he was let go and picked up by Tampa Bay, and now he's on the Niners. So he's like on his fourth team. So I just don't know. I don't know what Rosen does well. He hasn't impressed me when he has played. Granted, he's still young, but we'll see. We'll see, because he'll be competing for the third quarterback spot on the team. He'll be competing for the third spot with Sudfeld and Josh Johnson, because I think the Niners, they'll probably have 4 to 5 quarterbacks in camp and preseason and things like that. But once the season starts, I don't think they're going to carry more than 3 quarterbacks. It's going to be Jimmy G, the rookie we select, and whoever is that third option. Could be Rosen, Sudfeld, or Josh Johnson. So we'll see. I mean, I guess you would kind of have to say he's a bust because he's been on several different teams. So I guess you would have to say he's a bust, but I would agree. He hasn't been given a fair opportunity to start, Niners all day. My thing is he's been to 2 Super Bowls with the mobile quarterbacks. If I were him, I'd want to switch it up a little. And he did develop RG3 and got him Rookie of the Year, but he got injured, so I would change it up. Yeah, I mean, Shanahan can definitely coach him up. He's got the great scheme. He's got the pedigree. His father, obviously, Mike Shanahan, won 2 Super Bowls. He's a great head coach as well. So, I mean, he can develop a lot of quarterbacks. Now, some would say he didn't develop CJ Beathard. He didn't develop Nick Mullins. But a lot of times when Beathard and Mullins were in, the 49ers had a lot of injuries. So some would say, hey, well, we didn't get an accurate representation of Mullins or Beathard. But, Mullins and Beathard, they did have plenty of games to play to show something. I mean, the worst thing you can do as a quarterback is turn the ball over. I mean, that's the worst thing you can do. So if you do that, your chances of staying in the NFL long, it's just, you won't have that many opportunities. You got to protect the ball when you're at the quarterback spot. And that goes for anyone, any skilled person. If you can't be relied upon, if you fumble the ball a lot, you're just not going to get that much playing time. And he says, and lost both. Yeah, I mean, yeah, shut it, yeah. But some would say with the Atlanta Falcons, it wasn't his fault. I mean, I know the Falcons had the lead. It's, when the team has a lead at halftime, sometimes they let up a little bit in the second half. I mean, we've seen it, The Bucs didn't let up last year against the Chiefs. But usually if a team has a lead in the first half, that second half, they usually, give up a little bit of that lead. And the Falcons, they did make plays on defense. And then the Falcons offense didn't execute. So whose fault is that? Could be the players, could be a combination of the coaches. So, and looks like Niners All Day says, if we can get someone that can extend plays like Fields, I think we can get back to the promised land. No, I feel you, man. I feel you. It would be exciting to see someone. First, it's exciting to see someone a little bit more mobile, someone that can extend plays by getting out the pocket and throwing open the receivers. That's why I think we should go with someone who is mobile. Because in that division, in that tough NFC West, man, they got some good defenses on the NFC West. Make no mistake about it. Seattle, they got Kerry Hyder, Carlos Dunlap, Jamal Adams. They're going to be able to get after the quarterback. LA Rams, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, Jalen Ramsey. They're going to be able to get after the quarterback. And with Arizona, don't get easier. J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones. I mean, we're going to have a quarterback who can escape the pocket, make some plays with his legs. And I think Shanahan definitely values that trait. I know he wants someone that can stand in the pocket, make reads, make the correct read, deliver the ball to the correct receiver, and don't turn the ball over. Obviously, that's like number one. But it would be nice if we had someone who could roll out and extend plays. 49ers Ultimate Report. CJ was drafted way too early. His development was slow. Worst pick the 49ers did in 2017. I mean, that's a good observation. 49ers Ultimate Report, John J. CJ, that 2017 draft was pretty tough. When you look at it, if you guys haven't looked at it, look at that 2017 NFL draft by the Niners. That was the first draft by Lynch and Shanahan. The third overall pick, Solomon Thomas. Traded back into the first to get Reuben Foster. I believe we got a Akello Witherspoon. He was a solid pick. Not great. He was solid. C.J. Beathard, Joe Williams, and I believe a few other players who aren't on the team. And, of course, the best jewel of that draft was George Kittle. But other than that, yeah, that was a pretty terrible draft. And unfortunately, yeah, CJ was drafted way too early. So Niners all day agrees. Hood scratcher lady. Great stream, Jay. I'm just chilling in the background supporting the Yay area. I appreciate you coming through, Hood scratcher lady. Thanks for coming through. But yeah, that 2017 draft, that was tough to look at. But it proves that the draft is a crapshoot. It just you never really know. There is no real guarantee. And sometimes players get drafted way above than than they're supposed to. Or it could be sometimes it's the situation. Sometimes it's a player gets drafted. For instance, Alex Smith, he had 5 or 6 different offensive coordinators through his years with the Niners. Alex Smith had a respectable, good career. He won playoff games in KC. He could have been more successful in Washington if not for the injuries. Who knows? But a lot of times it's about where players are drafted. When I think of bust, most recently I think of maybe Jadeveon Clowney. He was a top pick, and I hear he might be re-signing with the Cleveland Browns. That's Jadeveon Clowney. And for me, he just don't get the sacks, baby. Like, he wants to be paid like a top 5 pass rusher, but he doesn't get the sacks. Granted, he's great against the run, but he doesn't get the sacks. And I believe he was drafted. Was he drafted number 1 overall? I think he was drafted number 1 or number 2, but maybe him and Myles Garrett in Cleveland, that would be interesting. But he's a player I think of who didn't live up to the billing. Niners All Day says, if you were in Kyle's position, who are you taking? I'm taking Fields, as you probably would know. I didn't know that, Niners All Day. I didn't know you was taking Justin Fields. We all know, Niners All Day, you are the conductor of the Justin Fields train. Choo, choo. Yeah, so if it was me, I definitely would not take Mac Jones after trading into the top 3. No way. I would say I would probably go with Justin Fields because he's played more games. He's played, against tougher defenses. But also, I'm intrigued by Lance. I really don't feel like you could go wrong if you pick either or. The knock on Trey Lance is he hasn't played against, the same type of defenses that, Ohio State has. That's one of the knocks. And also, he only played 1 game last year. So that is a knock on him. But, I feel like you can't go wrong. It's either Trey or Justin, one or the other. Because I feel like both of them, they're not going to start, day one when the regular season starts. They're not going to start. They're going to sit behind Jimmy, learn the offense. We all know that Shanahan's playbook is extensive. It takes time to learn it and get comfortable. So I think we'll be fine with either one. It's like 49ers Ultimate Report. I'm still mad that the 49ers missed on Deshaun Kaiser, which he was a dual threat quarterback, but was great pocket quarterback. I was able to scramble in the pocket. I think Deshaun Kaiser, I think that did he get drafted by I'm thinking either Cleveland or Green Bay years back. I think so. But yeah, he didn't really pan out in the NFL. Now, one player we'll never get over is Aaron Rodgers. I mean, man, we could have had Aaron Rodgers. Who knows though? Who knows if he would have still been Aaron Rodgers, in the 49ers system with having 5 or 6 different quarterbacks. Alex Smith was thrown into the fire as opposed to Aaron Rodgers. I think he sat 2 or 3 years behind Brett Favre. So we'll never really know. Aaron Rodgers could have ended up like Alex Smith. Like sometimes it's all about the situation you get drafted in. And that's why if you're a rookie quarterback coming out of this year's draft, you want to get drafted by the Niners, baby. We got talent on both sides of the ball. And it's rare to have a team that was just in the Super Bowl 2 years ago have a top 3 pick in this year's draft. So I can't wait. Niners all day. Choo, choo. He's definitely driving that Justin Fields train. It's like LF says, Kyle was definitely blinded by his wanting cousins. We missed out on Mahomes and D-Watt in 2017. Yeah. We definitely did. A lot of teams, passed up on Mahomes and Watson, and, Kyle, he's a great play caller, great play designer. Now, some would say, well, if he really likes Kirk Cousins, how good of a talent evaluator he is. Now, I guess that's to be questioned, because why wouldn't he look at Deshaun Watson or Pat Mahomes in 2017? Obviously, no one thought Pat Mahomes would be the best quarterback in the NFL, right? I mean, obviously KC had an idea, but I don't know. I don't really remember where Pat Mahomes was projected to be drafted. Maybe in the mid to late first round, and that's why KC traded up to get Pat Mahomes. But a lot of teams are kicking themselves, especially them good old Chicago Bears, for not going after Mahomes or Deshaun Watson. And also the Niners too, because we could have gotten either one of those quarterbacks, and we wouldn't have essentially wasted a draft pick on Solomon Thomas. So, because unfortunately, Solomon Thomas, it didn't work out. And the Niners, we definitely needed a quarterback. So I don't know. Let's see. Niners all day says, when you look at Deshaun Watson's draft profile, they are doing the same thing that they are doing to Fields. I'm just going to say, Kyle, learn from your mistakes. Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Mac Jones had a great 1 year with Bama, had all types of talent, but I feel like the higher ceiling, it's Deshaun Watson. The higher ceiling is Justin Fields and Trey Lance. That's what I feel. But yeah, people were doubting Deshaun Watson as well, and obviously he turned out to be, a pretty good quarterback. So we'll see what happens with him though this year. LF says, but I think he's focused this draft. So let's go Fields. Yeah, it's like we don't know. We don't know. I think I have an idea of what Shanahan wants in a quarterback. He wants someone that can read the field, make the correct throw, throw his receiver open, feel the pass rush before it gets to you. And so that's what I want to see. And I think Shanahan, hopefully that's what he wants. And, I can't wait to see what comes to fruition in the draft. Hopefully it's not Mac Jones, but we don't know. Shanahan hasn't told anyone, who he favors. Obviously he's not going to tell many people, right? He's going to keep that close to the vest. But, I'm glad the 49ers made the decision to, move up into the top 3. Because I was tired of hearing the excuses about Jimmy G, about the, condensed playbook. I want to see a wide open playbook. I want to hear no excuses. And I think, I don't know about you guys, but I think Jimmy G, when healthy, he can lead us back to the Super Bowl. That's what I feel. But unfortunately for Jimmy, the best ability is availability. And unfortunately, he hasn't been available. And when he hasn't been available, the season's basically been over. Looks like Niners all day says, yeah, Kyle is definitely doing his homework. Kyle is definitely doing his due diligence. And, I'm excited for that pro day because the Niners they can put their input into the pro day. They can run specific 49er plays. Shanahan will have a front row seat to see how these quarterbacks react to that, what reads they make, their drop back, how they throw the ball. He'll see all that in person. So I would think if he doesn't already know who he wants now, which I'd be surprised if he didn't, but the pro day should make it even more clear who's the best fit for the red and gold. And I think we can all assume that, Trevor Lawrence, he's going number 1 overall with the Jags. It seems like all signs are pointing to Zach Wilson being drafted by the Jets. The Jets, they traded Sam Darnold. He's now with Carolina. I think Darnold will be pretty good in Carolina. I don't know if they're a playoff team because you still got the Bucs who will probably win that division. You got them good old ATL Falcons. Who else you got in that division? You got the Saints. They ain't going nowhere. They still got talent. And who else? Panthers, Saints, Falcons, and Buccaneers. So, yeah, that's a tough division. So we'll see. And then also in the 4th pick, you got the Falcons. Will they select a quarterback? Or will they? I've heard that they could trade down. I know there's a lot of teams that would like to get up into the top 5. I've heard Washington may try to trade up. Denver Broncos may trade up. So we'll see. But I'm glad Kyle and the 49ers brass are doing their due diligence. 49ers Ultimate Report. He says, Kaiser was great in college. And here's a highlight, checking it out when you have a chance. When he went to the Browns, he never panned out. Yeah. And that's the great thing. In college, the game is different than the pros. The speed of the game is different. High school players, usually when they go to college, sometimes they're the best player in high school. Sometimes they're the best player in college. But when you go to the pros, it's a whole different ball game, baby. But, yeah, when you get drafted by the Browns, sometimes it's all about the situation because, the Browns haven't been relevant. Obviously, I feel like the Browns now, they found their stride. They're running the ball with Chubb and I forgot the other running back's name. But they're running the ball. Baker Mayfield's throwing off a play action. They got OBJ. They got a plethora of receivers. So obviously the Browns now, and they got the defense to go along with the offense. So the Browns are looking pretty good. But yeah, when the Browns drafted Kaiser, it wasn't a good situation. But yeah, you never know. Sometimes players they just don't pan out. And there's always a player in every draft or a few players. Most don't pan out. The NFL is only the average NFL career is like 3 years. So it sometimes players they ball out, and sometimes they it could be the fit, it could be the team, it could be the scheme. Sometimes players don't play well in certain areas. So sometimes players need a fresh scenery, like for instance with Ryan Tannehill with the Miami Dolphins, and Adam Gase is supposed to be this offensive genius, but he didn't elevate Ryan Tannehill's game. And then Ryan Tannehill goes to the Tennessee Titans, and he got a nice contract extension, and Tennessee has been in the playoffs the last, I think, 2 or 3 years with Ryan Tannehill at the helm. So sometimes it's all about, the situation. So, but yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait for that draft coming through. I can't wait to see who the 49ers pick with the number 3 overall pick, who is Shanahan's guy. And also the day 2 and day 3 picks. That's going to be exciting to see as well because we definitely have more needs on the team and they have to be addressed. But yeah, I can't wait for that. And I appreciate every one of you guys commenting, watching the stream. I appreciate you guys for coming on. Let me know if you have any other questions. But I'm excited for the rest of the free agency. The Niners still could sign players. I think the Niners will. We definitely need to sign a receiver. I want to see us sign someone better than Mohamed Sanu. I don't know about you guys, but we definitely need to get some more talent at that wide receiver position. And hopefully we have a healthy season. That's what I'm hoping for. Niners All Day says, Justin Fields on this team would be good. Sit him behind Jimmy for a year and then put Fields in and trade Jimmy. Like that would be the perfect scenario, right? Niners all day. Jimmy has a fire lit under him because I'm sure he's mad that the Niners are basically telling him, you are not the future of the team. We are moving on from you at the quarterback position. We don't think you're good enough. So we're moving on with a young rookie quarterback. Hopefully that lights a fire. Hopefully that lights a fire under Jimmy G. Jimmy G has already made, a lot of money in the NFL, but it seems like he loves the game. He wants to continue to play. Jimmy G is playing for his NFL future right now. Now, can you imagine if you're Jimmy G and his representation, he balls out with the Niners. We go, 12-5 or something, or 11-6 this season, go to the playoffs. Maybe not even go to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl, but at least have a deep playoff run, maybe win one or two playoff games. The ceiling is high for Jimmy G. Then we trade Jimmy G, to the highest bidder, and we have a quarterback in waiting who would take over the reins for Jimmy and basically have a winning team ready to go. Like, it kind of reminds me of, not exactly, but kind of with Russell Wilson. Like, he started the first year. He wasn't expected to start, but he already had a team surrounded. Surrounded him. So, for instance, they had guys on the defense who were balling out. That was back when they had the Legion of Boom with Sherm, Chancellor, all those guys, Bobby Wagner. And then you had the running game. You had Marshawn Lynch. You had the good old line. Like, they already had everything set for Russell Wilson, and he just took that team to another level. So hopefully that's what Jimmy can do. Ball out, because he knows he's playing for his next NFL contract on a different team, and, lead this team to success. We trade Jimmy, and then we have Fields, who's ready and waiting, and he ready to take over the team. And we still will focus on, obviously, running the ball, 30, 35 times a game, controlling the time of possession, winning in the trenches. And then on defense, making, timely plays, making plays on defense, getting turnovers and things like that. And I think the Niners are in a great situation right now, baby. I think we're in a perfect spot, getting ready to select our franchise quarterback, and Jimmy G's pissed, which he should. And hopefully he balls out. Hopefully he doesn't shrivel up. Hopefully he balls out. Hopefully he uses that motivation to have the best season of his career and stay healthy. Niners all day. I can't wait for the draft. Me too, man. I can't wait. And LF says, trade Jimmy G in October to a quarterback-needy team, then start Fields. Now, that's an interesting point. If the only way I see the Niners trading Jimmy G in season is if the team is struggling. So if we're like, let's say after the first 6 games, I don't know, we're like 2-4 or something, or like 1-5, and Jimmy G is having a terrible year so far. The only thing is his trade value won't be high. So who's going to trade for a quarterback that's struggling? Maybe he's turning the ball over or something like that. A team may not trade for him, or we may not get much for him. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I think that'd be a worst case scenario if we trade Jimmy G in season, because I don't think we trade Jimmy G in season if the team is like 6-0 or 4-2, and we're looking good, and Jimmy G's having an excellent season. I just don't think we would do that, because I feel like we'd be giving up on the season. We're not going to pull a Miami Dolphins move. We're not doing that. Like the Dolphins last year, I think they had a winning record with Fitzmagic, and for some reason they took out, well, we all know why, but they took out Fitzmagic to put in the rookie Tua, and Tua wasn't ready. He had some good moments, but eventually Tua was benched, I believe, 2 times for Fitzmagic. So, and, I'm not saying Fitzmagic is a franchise quarterback. He's not, but, for players playing well, why take that player out? It just doesn't make sense. Random Electric 2.0. What's good? Thanks for coming through to the stream. He says, drafting Fields might be job security for Kyle. If he falls, Kyle can say, I tried the dual threat guy, and fans will probably accept that. If Mac Jones fails, fans will say, no shit, we told you. Yeah, and I agree. And I feel like Mac Jones is the closest to Jimmy G. And the 49ers trading up in the top 3 signal to me that they want to get not just a little bit better at the quarterback position, they want to go to another level. And getting Mac Jones, I don't think that would necessarily get you to another level. I think drafting Fields or Lance, like you're trying to get to an upper echelon of talent. And I feel like those two players are that. But that's a great point. Because, yeah, if he gets Mac Jones and he fails, it's like that could be – I don't know how he would recover from that, you know. But if he gets one of the other dual threat guys and it fails, like you said, he can say, hey, I tried it. It didn't work out. Let's move on. Because I don't know any Niner fan that's saying we should get I don't know any Niner fan that thinks we should get Mac Jones over Fields or Lance. I haven't heard any Niner fans say that. So most Niner fans, they either want Fields or Lance. Looks like Niners All Day says, yep. Looks like Livy says, when it rains, it pours. Yeah, I was saying that a lot last year, Livy's World. So clearly you're a true fan because not only that you're a true fan, but also you followed me, last year with the Niners because we definitely had some games last year where, we lost. I think what was our record? Like 7-9 or something. Like it was definitely a terrible year. So hopefully I won't be saying when it rains, it pours after any games or after many games next year. Hopefully it'll be more games where I'm very excited to come on and talk. So, and speaking of next year, I'll definitely be doing more live streams, Livy's World, during the week, definitely be breaking down the game, doing live streams. I'll definitely be live streaming the day of the game, like an hour or two before the game, after the game, because we got to hear the faithful. We got to hear the Niner Empire pre and post game. So make sure you stay tuned in, Livy's World. I appreciate you for coming through to the stream. Let's see. 49ers Ultimate Report says, if Jimmy G is not traded after day 3 of the draft, then not cut on June 1st, Jimmy G will be on the team for the whole 2021 season. Yeah, I agree. Now, what's interesting, John Jay, is if we cut Jimmy G because we can't trade him before the season starts, who would be the starter? Like, how do you guys feel? Faithful, do you think that we should if we cut Jimmy G before the season starts, do you think that the rookie quarterback should start? I mean, I don't know about that. I know we have a ready-made team. We got the weapons on both sides of the ball, but I wouldn't want to have a rookie quarterback start. I know Herbert, he played well. Well, he played exceptionally well. They didn't go to the playoffs, but Justin Herbert played well enough to win the Rookie of the Year. And he excelled. And also, what's his name? Burrow out of Cincinnati, he excelled before he got hurt. But usually that's not the norm. Most time, rookie quarterbacks come in, they don't light the world on fire. It's just most of the time that's not the case. And when the quarterback comes in and he's a rookie, I just don't see him having much success. I feel like it's better for a quarterback to come in and learn the system. Now, and another reason rookie quarterbacks start is because there's not expectations of that team that year. So, for instance, Joe Burrow, he started for Cincinnati. No one's expecting Cincinnati to go to the playoffs or a Super Bowl run. No one expects that. So, throw the rookie in, see what he does. And Herbert, he just got in because the doctor took out Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor was supposed to be the starter, but we all know that story. If you don't, just Google it. But, yes. So that was kind of a fluke that Herbert got in the game anyway. So, Niners All Day says, where the umbrella? Yeah, I got to get the umbrella. Where is it at? I got to get the umbrella and the poncho. Hopefully, I won't have to bring that out too many times next season. Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Hard and 54. Thanks for coming through. Looks like Niners All Day says, I think we should keep Jimmy. Yeah, I think that is the wise decision, unless someone or some team says, oh, I'll give you, 2 first-round picks for Jimmy, or a first and a second and a third, or two, maybe a second and a third pick or something. Like, they would have to blow our socks off to get rid of Jimmy, because I think we can all agree when Jimmy's healthy, he plays well, and he is the best option for the team when he's healthy. Because I don't want to start a rookie quarterback, and I don't know about you guys, but Josh Rosen don't do nothing for me. I feel like he's a backup. He hasn't proved. Now I want to see what he does in the preseason. I want to see what Rosen does in the preseason, but he just hasn't proved anything to me. I've seen Jimmy G at his best. That's why I say Jimmy G. That's my quarterback, because I've seen what he can do at his best when he's healthy. So that's why I say, yeah, we stick with Jimmy. Rosen hasn't proven much. Sudfeld, I believe he's only been in the league 3 years. He's only played like 4 games in Philly. And Josh Johnson, he's been, career backup. So I say we stick with Jimmy G. Looks like Random Electronic 2.0 says Kyle isn't starting a rookie this season, and not after signing a bunch of vets to 1 to 2 year deals. If rookie is hurt, we are truly with Jimmy. There's a small chance he stays healthy. We win. Exactly. No, that's what I feel. And that's a great point. I didn't even think about that. You sign a bunch of vets to 1 or 2 year deals. You're expecting to win now. You don't want to start a rookie, because that kind of signals that the season, is over. And that's why someone else, I forgot who said it. They said, trade Jimmy by October. Now, the only way we do that is if the team is struggling, Jimmy isn't playing well, but then his trade value won't be high because he's not playing well. Usually you want to trade players when their value is high, or you could at least get something, a few draft picks for that player, or second or third or something like that. Usually, because you want to try to get value for that player. 49ers ultimate report. It will either be rookie quarterback or Rosen, but the truth is Jimmy G ain't going nowhere. No, I agree. The third, I think the rookie quarterback, yeah, he'll either be second string or third string, and then it'll be, all out camp battle, which would be interesting to see between Josh Johnson, Sudfeld, and Rosen. I think, Shanahan will probably keep 4 to 5 quarterbacks, through training camp and preseason. But once the regular season starts, you don't need to have 4 or 5 quarterbacks on the roster. Most positions you don't have 4 or 5 backups. I think the running backs you'll probably have 4, including juice check. Wide receivers, yeah, you got to have at least 4 or 5. I'm trying to think. And corners, yeah, you're going to have 4 or 5 corners. But in most of the other positions, you're not going to have 4 or 5 behind, behind the starter. It's pretty rare. So I think the Niners, they're only going to have 3 quarterbacks, and that's going to be Jimmy G, the rookie, and it's going to be all out war for that third spot, between Rosen, Sudfeld, and Johnson. Niners All Day says we are the favorites for Fields right now, which is great. No, I agree. We definitely are the favorites, unless the Jets. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that throw a wrench into everything if the Jets select? I guess it wouldn't. If the Jets selected Justin Fields, or if they selected Trey Lance, like that would be crazy. I guess we would. Now that's interesting. If the Jets selected Justin Fields, right? Obviously, that would kind of be a shock. The Niners get Zach Wilson or Trey Lance. That would be interesting. Obviously, I've seen a little bit of tape on both. Lance is unproven. He hasn't obviously played as much games as Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson did say he wants to be a 49er, which that means a lot. That means a lot to me. He said he wanted to be a part of the team. So we have to take that into consideration. I would say we'll probably go with Zach Wilson, probably. If the Jets, got Fields, we would probably go with Zach Wilson. Let me know what you guys think. Tommy Huxley says, "What's good? Thanks for coming through, Chef Tommy." Let's see. He says, Chef Tommy's in the house. What you got on the grill? What you cooking tonight, Chef Tommy? Let me know in the comments. Looks like Random Electronic says, and I appreciate your thoughts, Random Electronic. Man. He says also, Jimmy stays healthy and we win. Kyle and John can treat it as somewhat being redeemed for taking him. Trading or cutting him now is an automatic admission they failed. They don't want that. No, that's very true. That's a great point. Jimmy had that one great year, and other than that, he's been, injured, for two seasons. So, and when he's been injured, the season's basically been over. So yeah, you're right. The 49ers brass definitely don't want to trade or cut him now unless we get an offer we can't refuse. If it's multiple picks, I don't know who would trade multiple picks for him. The Patriots, they already got Cam Newton, so I don't know if they would trade for Jimmy. They already invested, money into Cam. Now you would pay two quarterbacks over $30 million. I don't know if the Patriots would do that. So hopefully Jimmy balls out. Hopefully this is, lights a fire under Jimmy. And he says, you guys don't believe in me anymore, and that's fine. I'm going to ball out and prove you guys all wrong. And then he can lead another franchise, the next year. So hopefully Jimmy balls out this season. He's got no reason not to ball out. We got the weapons, faithful. Y'all know it. We got the weapons. We got Debo. We got the IQ show. We got Mostert. We got Kittle, the best tight end in the NFL. The weapons are there. I still think we need to get another wide receiver, but y'all know. Hopefully we draft someone. But we got the weapons offense. We got the weapons defense. We got the Shanahan, the mad scientist. He's got the tutelage. There's no reason for Jimmy to fail this season. There's no reason. As long as he stays healthy, we should be good. The O-line is solidified. We good to go. 49ers Ultimate Report says, what's up, Tommy? And LF says, if you were Jimmy G and pretty much know that it'll be your last year, would you ask to be traded? Wow. Now that's a great question. I don't know. That's a great question. I think Jimmy G has a no trade clause, so he can basically decide which team he gets traded to. Now, yeah, if I'm Jimmy G, where do I want to get traded? Do I want to go to New England? They did add, Kendrick Bourne. They added Hunter Henry and the other Jonnu Smith. They did add a few more weapons offensively. I don't know. Would I want to go back to New England or stay in the Bay? I don't know. I think I would want to. Honestly, if I was Jimmy, I probably would want to get traded. Yeah, because, they're basically telling you, we don't believe in you. We don't think that you can be the franchise quarterback. But, if you're Jimmy, what do you expect? You weren't healthy 2 out of the last 3 years. What do you expect the team to do? We have to improve that quarterback room. I don't see how Jimmy could think any other way. This isn't like, any player that's injured 2 out of the last 3 seasons and missed basically the whole season, that team is definitely either moving on from you or they're looking for a player to replace you. And that's just how it is. That's the NFL. It's a professional league. If you either can't perform or if you're injured, teams will get rid of you. I think that's just how it is. Cinco Mo, what's good? Thanks for coming through, man. He says, what's good, man? How would you guys did draft Mac Jones on draft night? So if we draft Mac Jones on draft night, it would definitely be a letdown. It would definitely be a disappointment. It would be like if someone do, hey, Justin, fly out to Vegas. We're going to go out to Speed Vegas to drive, Ferrari or a Lambo or something. And all of a sudden you pull up to Speed Vegas and they say, okay, you're going to drive this Toyota Prius. What? I'd be disappointed, man. Yeah. Like we got a chance to get a Ferrari or a Lambo. We can't get, a Volvo or, or whatever basic car, So I would definitely be disappointed. I think the fan base would be disappointed. Niner fans all over the world would be disappointed if we got Mac Jones. Now, just because we're disappointed doesn't mean we're not going to support the team. I would support the decision because it's Shanahan's guy. And I believe in Kyle Shanahan, So if that's who Shanahan thinks, that's who we're going to ride with, But, he knows more football than all of us combined. He's a genius. He knows what he's doing, but, I think we would all be disappointed for sure. Let's see. Let's see, Tommy. Let's see, 49ers Ultimate Report. Tommy, I'm doing great. See you on Wombo tonight. All right. Let's say Niners All Day says, if Wilson falls to 3, we get Wilson, no debate. Yeah. That would be crazy, right? Niners All Day if the Jets all of a sudden just took Justin Fields. That would be interesting because, I mean, why do people think Zach Wilson is better than Justin Fields? I mean, I don't see how Wilson's better than Fields. Let me know in the comments. You guys think Wilson is significantly better than Fields? I mean, I don't see it, but looks like Nico says, I would run it with Mike McGlinchey one more time. I don't see him having a bad year after last year. I'm sure Joe Staley got in his ear. Yeah, hopefully. You know, he definitely had a disappointing season pass blocking last year. He's definitely got to step up. I don't know if he's got to put on more weight. You know, I don't know why he lost weight last season. I don't know if the team told him that or he decided to do that on his own, but he's got to improve, baby. You know, Mike McGlinchey, same as Jimmy G. Mike McGlinchey is playing for his NFL future. I would be surprised if the Niners keep him after his fifth-year option. I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners pick up his fifth-year option this year because he's still an above-average right tackle. Hopefully, he just gets better. Hopefully, he just gets better in the offseason, blocking, putting on muscle, and hopefully he gets better because it's a possibility that McGlinchey could be a draft day trade, but we'll see because we could draft his replacement this year. But yeah, hopefully McGlinchey improves. I don't know if he needs to work out with Joe Staley or what it is. I don't know, but he got to get better. Looks like Tommy says, that's my day job. I'm a sous chef. All right. He says he's finally back to work after a year. Wow. And he says, I'm just making spaghetti with some roasted veggies. That sounds real good right now. No, but that's good, man, that you back at work. Yeah, the pandemic hit a lot of people really hard. It was a terrible year for a lot of people, and hopefully 2021 will be much better. People are getting the vaccine, and, restaurants. I'm not sure where you're at, Tommy, but restaurants are opening up in Cali, and things are starting to open up. So hopefully we can continue on that path. Hopefully this is a trend, not a blip. So Matt says, damn, I'm late. Yeah, you late, Matt. You didn't see the notification, baby. That's why you got to click that little bell, man. But thanks for coming through, Matt. Thanks for coming through to Jay in the Bay. What do you think about Mike McGlinchey, Matt? Let me know what you think. Should we keep McGlinchey? What do you think? Should we keep Mike McGlinchey? His fifth-year option, the Niners have to make a decision on May 3rd. So what do you think? Do you think we should keep McGlinchey? We would owe him $10 million for next year, which ain't bad. That's nothing. Or should we look to move on from McGlinchey because we already broke the bank. We already backed up the Brinks truck for Trent. So I just don't think we're going to re-sign McGlinchey to a long-term deal. Random Electronic. He says at LF, I don't know that there's a lot of incentive for Jimmy to demand a trade. He is betting on himself to prove he can stay healthy and win, and that'll be best for his future career. Exactly. He can pull a Nick Foles. Nick Foles, he was getting ready to retire, and all of a sudden, I think the Chiefs signed him to a quarterback backup deal. He signed that contract, and then he eventually moved on to Philly. Carson Wentz got hurt. Foles revitalized his career, won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and then the Eagles traded him to Jacksonville. Now, Foles got paid. He got paid, but obviously he didn't work out in Chi-Town or Jacksonville. But he won a Super Bowl in Philly. He's a hero in Philly, and that's what Jimmy G can do, baby. That's what you gotta do, Jimmy. You gotta channel your inner Nick Foles. That's what you gotta do. Ball out, and then you move on, sign another massive contract, and but hopefully he can stay healthy. If he's healthy, he can do it. I believe in Jimmy. If he's healthy, he can do it. 49ers Ultimate Report. NFL is a business. Jimmy G is not bad, but the NFL is a business of Super Bowls. Exactly. And Jimmy, you already been to one. You already been to one Super Bowl, so you good to go, Jimmy. You just got to stay healthy, rely on your targets, and Jimmy can definitely lead us back to a Super Bowl. I truly believe that. Random Electronic. Also, Jimmy knows his team is stacked and will have one of the top offensive lines protecting him. He is in the best possible situation to succeed and raise his stock. Where would he be traded with this much talent? Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, Random. You know, what other team has a complete team that's willing to trade for him? Even New England, I know they added some pieces, but I still feel like the Niners have a better team than New England going forward. And I don't know many other teams that need a quarterback that have the same amount of talent that we do. Like you could say, you know, maybe Chicago could trade for Jimmy. They certainly got Mac on the edge, but I feel like we have a more complete team, especially offensively, than Chicago. You could say Washington could trade for Jimmy G. I know they picked up Fitz, but he's not the answer long term. And Washington has definitely the defense, but you know, I feel like our offense is better than Washington's. So great point, Random. I just don't feel like there's another team that is stacked and has the talent on both sides of the ball that the 49ers do, you know, that could win right now. Let's see. Cinco Mo. Cinco Mo says, I think people look at Wilson as better than Fields because Wilson has better perceived talent with less around him than Fields, who had the OSU talent. That's an interesting point. You know, obviously Ohio State has more talent than, you know, players at BYU. So that's a very good point. Tommy, he says, I think Wilson would be a bust just because the Jets are god awful. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, Tommy, because I was talking about the Jets earlier, and they pretty much been an abysmal franchise the last decade. I mean, they had that 1 year success with Todd Bowles, and Adam Gase was supposed to come in to Gotham City and revitalize the franchise, but that didn't come to fruition. You know, he was supposed to elevate the playing career of Sam Darnold, and he definitely didn't do that. So, but hopefully I'm rooting for the Jets. I'm rooting for Robert Saleh. Obviously, he's former 49ers D coordinator, and I hope he's successful in New York. And, of course, if he's playing the Niners, obviously, you know, we got to beat him down. But, you know, I wanted to see him be successful. He's going to have a rookie quarterback starting off fresh. So, you know, best of luck to Robert Saleh. Let's see. Matt says, if he shows he can improve his pass blocking by next year, then I might change my mind. I'm wanting to get rid of him. We'll see. Yeah. I mean, he had a down year pass blocking. Like if you look at some of his lowlights on YouTube, he was just getting ran over. You know, especially that game against the Saints. I mean, Cameron Jordan, he's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, but Cameron Jordan was just throwing him down like a rag doll. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just, you know, beating him up. But, you know, hopefully, you know, he got a fire lit under him because last season he didn't perform as well. He puts a little bit more muscle on, and, you know, hopefully he balls out. Because now one thing I didn't mention is that obviously this year, due to the pandemic, the salary cap for the NFL was a little bit less. It was decreased significantly due to no fans, you know, being in the stands. So the NFL will be signing. I think they already did sign a TV network agreement. I think they did. If not, they're going to do it real soon, and obviously that will increase the salary cap. So maybe paying McGlinchey, you know, 10 to 15 mil a year, you know, may not be out of the question once the salary cap increases. But obviously, it all depends on, you know, McGlinchey's playing this year. Just like Tommy says, Niners all day, the injury history, and he is tiny. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Did the team tell McGlinchey he was playing tight end or something? I don't know, man. I don't know why. But it's like Niners all day says, Tommy, that's why I want Fields over Wilson, because Fields is durable and he has that respect in the locker room. He has that presence when he walks up and you look up. Yeah. I mean, you know, he had Wilson had some, you know, good games at BYU. And I know he's projected to be taken by the Jets, but, you know, Fields, he's an excellent option as well. They both played at a high level. And, yeah, I can't wait to see what happens on draft night. It's like Matt Navarro says 6'2" ain't that small. For a quarterback, yeah, it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's not small, but it ain't. That's probably maybe below average. Usually the average quarterback is probably at least 6'4", probably. You know, usually you don't like to select a quarterback, you know, usually under 6 feet because, you know, they have a tough time looking over their tall offensive linemen. So, Usually 6'2" is okay though. That's not bad. It's like Tommy says, I stopped working in restaurants in 2015. I do corporate benefits, no rights and weekends. That's for music gigs, my man. Yeah, man. I see you with the guitar, so definitely continue to do your passion. That's what keeps you going. I'm sure that keeps a lot of people going is their passion. So that's like LF says. I agree. Fields over Wilson for some reason. Yeah, I agree too. We'll see. This is going to be an interesting draft because these players are going to be linked together for the rest of their career, just like when Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, and Phillip Rivers got drafted all in the same draft. Like their careers are all linked together, and I feel like this draft will be the same. You got Lawrence, you got Mac Jones, you got Wilson, Fields, and Lance. So those five quarterbacks will always be mentioned together in one of probably the best draft quarterback classes we've seen in a while. And looks like Niners All Day says, let's hope Jets fans ain't watching this. Let him slide to 3 and they will regret it. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, if they pick Fields, I don't think they would regret it. I mean, but we'll see. But if I'm a rookie quarterback, I definitely want to get picked by the Niners. Be under the tutelage of Mike Shanahan. I mean, what could be better? And looks like Matt says, yeah, Fields is starting to be a possibility. Yeah, I think so, Matt. I mean, who do you think we should get? I think Fields is the best option. I mean, I would be okay with Fields or Lance. Looks like Niners all Niners all day says if Kyle has a brain, he will take Fields. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows who Kyle Shanahan's guy is? That's why I'm so intrigued by this draft because this is the first time that Kyle has had the opportunity. I mean, I should say this is the first time we know he's going to take a quarterback. So who's going to be his guy? Who's the guy that he's going to mold to be one of the upper echelon quarterbacks, of the NFL? Because the NFC West is no joke. The NFC West has defense, has receivers, and then the quarterbacks. You got Stafford in LA, you got Wilson in Seattle, and then you got Kyler in Arizona. Cinco Mo. I think Fields is going to be really good, and I believe you guys are going to get him. I feel like he'll maximize the Shanahan system. And I agree, and that's what the rumors have been about with Jimmy G and Kyle. It seems like Shanahan has decreased the playbook because he doesn't believe in Jimmy G's ability for some reason. So no more excuses. No excuses, Kyle. Pick your guy. Open up that playbook. Let's see. Matt says, been looking at the opponents for next year. Thank God we played the Bengals for our 17th game. I know, right? We're going to have a tough schedule next year. I mean, not to mention the NFC West opponents. Those are going to be tough. There's going to be, the Rams upgraded quarterback spot. Seattle, they got Hyder. He's good. He's an upgrade over what they have, and they brought back Dunlap. The Cardinals, they got AJ Green. So every team has upgraded significantly in the offseason, so it's going to be a tough season. I don't think any team in the NFC West will probably win more than 12 games. I think that every team will probably be in that 8 to 12 game range, I would say. So, yeah, we got a break with the Bengals in our 17th game. Niners All Day says Fields also said he would love to play for Kyle and the Niners, but then again, who wouldn't? Exactly. We got the best weapons for a team picking in the top 5. But we should definitely take that into consideration. If Fields says he wants to be ready to go, baby. Looks like Niners All Day says, Matt, what's our schedule? Yeah, let us know. I think we play the NFC South this year because I know we played them good old ATL Falcons. So I think we play the NFC South. That's going to be tough. Atlanta, Carolina, Tampa Bay, and New Orleans. So those are going to be 4 tough games for sure. Cinco Mo says Wilson definitely hopes you guys draft him. Yeah, but I think the Jets I think the Jets are going to draft Zach Wilson. That's what it seems like. LF says check out the website QB Collective and you'll see our future quarterback. Okay. Matt says, haven't revealed the schedule yet, but the opponents we play next season are easy opponents. The NFC South is tough. I believe we play the NFC South. I know we play Atlanta. So NFC South is no joke. So that's, 3 games there, or excuse me, 4 games there, plus our division games. So that's 6. That's already 10. And then we play Cincinnati, and then we got 6 more games. So that's, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a tough schedule. It won't be easy for sure. Tommy says, why would Kyle draft the goofy-looking version of Jimmy G? I don't know, man. I don't know if he's just obviously he never said he was going to select Mac Jones. He's not going to tell anyone, but I guess the rumors were that, hey, he's interested in Mac Jones. I think Adam Schefter said you might as well buy a jersey now because Mac Jones is coming to the Bay. That's what Adam Schefter said, but he retracted those statements earlier today. I think he now said that the Niners are exploring all options at the quarterback position in the draft. So he's generalized his prediction now. So I guess his source wasn't correct. Niners All Day says, if we were to take a running back, I'd take Javonte Williams. He's like Frank Gore. Hey, that's a good option. And I was talking about earlier, maybe taking Najee Harris out of Bama. And Matt said, don't take easy opponents for granted, though. Yeah. I mean, these guys get paid in the NFL, too. There really is no easy game. Sometimes teams they don't play their best. But, yeah, there is no easy opponents. It's like Tommy says, our schedule isn't hard. Search it on Google. We played teams with losing records. Yeah, and then also you can't just assume that, okay, a team was bad last year. They're automatically going to be bad this year. I mean, that's why NFL is one of the best games because usually it's parity. Usually there's always a team that was bad the previous year, but they're good the next year. There's always a team like that. 49ers Z-Boy, what's good? Thanks for coming through to the stream, man. Looks like Nico says, I like Fields more than Wilson. Behind Jimmy G, I feel Jimmy is going to blow out this year. He deserves another shot. Not only him, but half of our squad were injured last year. Exactly. I mean, he's a pro. He's got something to prove. Obviously, he hears everything that's going on. He hears that, hey, you're injury prone. You can't stay healthy. So I'm sure he wants to prove everyone wrong. And also, he's playing for his NFL future. If he balls out, we could trade him to a team of his choice. He could sign a long-term extension contract with that team, and his NFL future will continue to thrive. But so that's what I'm hoping for Jimmy is that he plays the best season of his career, and he stays healthy all 16. So I can't wait for the season to start. It's going to be a hell of a year. I just can't wait for it. I appreciate everyone coming through to the stream. Thanks for watching your boy, Jay in the Bay. And make sure you guys continue to watch the YouTube. Of course, I'll be coming out with videos. And, I still haven't heard any news on Ronald Blair. I'm not sure if he's still going to re-sign with us. But we'll see what happens. Let's see. Matt says, to be honest, I'm hoping that the Jets take Zach Wilson so we can snag him Fields. Yeah, that's what's been the rumors is that Lawrence is going to be drafted number 1 overall by the Jags. Zach Wilson is scheduled to go 2, and then with the 3rd pick, it's kind of been up in the air. A lot of us feel, we should take Justin Fields, and then Atlanta, they have the 4th pick. Matt Ryan is still under contract, I think, for 2 more years. It doesn't seem like they want to get a quarterback. It seems like there are a few other teams that are interested in trading up to get Atlanta's 4th overall pick, like Washington, Denver. I even heard the Patriots may try to trade up. So I'd be surprised if Atlanta holds on to their pick because, if I was Atlanta, I would probably get a quarterback. If I was Atlanta, if I was a GM there, I'd be like, let's get I wouldn't want to get Mac. I'll probably say, let's get Trey Lance, have him sit behind Matt Ryan, and then it would be like a Michael Vick 2.0, So that's what I would do if I was Atlanta's GM, but I have a feeling they're going to trade back and, try to acquire more picks. And it looks like Niners All Day agrees with Matt. So make sure you guys, I already know a lot of you guys are already subscribed. I appreciate you subscribing to my YouTube, Jay in the Bay, and for following your boy on IG and Twitter. I appreciate all you guys doing that. If you haven't, make sure you check out the IG, check out the Twitter. Thanks for coming through. Wow, 2 hours flew right by. I appreciate everyone conversing with me. And let me know if you guys have any more comments. The draft, we got like what? I think we got 17 days left into the draft. I can't wait. And looks like Matt says, don't get me wrong, I like Zach Wilson, but I like Fields more. Yeah, I'm saying here. I think that whichever quarterback we get is going to be in great hands, great leadership, great tutelage under Shanahan and Lynch. We got the weapons. I think that's the first time I said that this show. We got the weapons, baby, on both sides of the ball. So we'll be good. And I'll see you later, Tommy. See you later. Niners All Day. I appreciate everyone commenting, conversing. I'll see you next time. LF, it's the first time I've seen you in the stream. So I'll see you next time, LF, in the stream. I appreciate all your comments. And also Random Electronic, everyone who, came to the stream, I appreciate it. And it's about that time to hit the road. See you later. Thanks for coming through.